The Trump administration accused New York Attorney General Letitia James of mortgage fraud. They've made a criminal referral to the Justice Department seeking federal prosecution. The Attorney General's office responded saying this: Attorney General James is focused every single day on protecting New Yorkers, especially as this administration weaponizes the federal government against the rule of law and the Constitution. She will not be intimidated by bullies, no matter who they are. Andrew Cherkasky joins me now. Is Trump playing his own form of lawfare in New York?
Well, I think they say people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Right. It's beyond ironic that the allegations that she's now facing stem from the exact same types of mortgage fraud or loan type fraud that Trump went through that incredible civil trial on, where he defended himself, and he said that those banks and those financial institutions that he dealt with had acknowledged and had their own fair opportunity to look into and do their research. The allegations against Letitia James are not quite as friendly to her, and they look quite damning. Now, the DOJ is going to start their investigation. That's going to take some time. I don't know how many resources they're going to put behind that. But if these allegations that are being put forth turn out to be true, she is going to be facing the same sort of bankruptcy and turning over of her assets to the state that Donald Trump had to through that trial.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today, we have to head to New York because we need to discuss Letitia James once more. Why is that? Because this woman is looking at jail time over her mortgage fraud allegations. Yes, she's looking at jail time and a little bit more than that also. I'll put it to you like this as we carry on with this video. Even if she doesn't go to jail, with the way things can play out, she's going to end up broke looking for employment at UPS. Okay. Things are going to end up really bad for her if this stuff comes down the pipeline the way we expect it to, where she goes from being under investigation to getting charged and then being convicted. Let's get into this article right here first, and then we'll unpack this a little bit more, right? So now, for those of you who have been living under a rock, I'll give you guys a little bit of a refresher right here. New York Attorney General Letitia James could face jail time after being accused of mortgage fraud, an academic has said. James, a Democrat who has served as New York's Attorney General since 2019, was this week referred to U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche by the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Its director, William J. Polt, alleged in a letter that James falsified records to obtain a mortgage. According to Polt, James said on a mortgage application in 2023, the house in Norfolk, Virginia, was her primary address, despite her position requiring New York residency. The 1,400 square foot single family home in Norfolk was built in 1947 and has 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. Per the deed, it was purchased for $240,000 with a $219,780 mortgage. Now, before we carry on, what I want to do is this. There are some folks that work with, I believe it's called the Daily Mail, if I remember correctly. Some folks that work with the Daily Mail, they actually pulled up to the Norfolk homes, right? Just to see if Letitia James was home, because that's supposed to be her primary residence, right? So let's take a look right now to see if Letitia James was home at her primary residence in Virginia, even though by law, her primary residence is supposed to be in New York as the AG. But let's take a moment to check this out.
Hi there. I'm a reporter with the Daily Caller News Foundation.
Goodbye. You're trespassing.
I'm sorry.
Trespassing. My kids are out here.
I understand. We mean no trouble. We're just curious who the occupants of the home are,
because there's about who's occupants. That's none of your business.
Well, there are connections. There are connections to New York Attorney General Letitia James.
That doesn't matter. You're trespassing.
Are you related to Letitia James?
Do you know her?
You're trespassing. Go in the house.
Do you know
You're
Letitia James?
trespassing.
No? Okay.
You're trespassing.
No comment. Thank you,
Don't
ma'am.
pull up to my house no more.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a good one.
It's gonna be problems.
You will.
record all you want.
Be well. Car sound.
There's a car parked in the driveway.
Hello there, ma'am.
No comment, you're trespassing.
No comment?
Yeah, you're trespassing.
Okay, well, who lives here?
You're trespassing.
Who lives here, ma'am?
No comment.
No comment. Okay.
Now, what you have to take into consideration, as we just got done watching these the video of these men going to both of her homes that are supposed to be Letitia James' primary residence, which clearly it isn't, is number one, the reason that she listed it as her primary resident when she was seeking to get a mortgage on these homes is that if she lists that Norfolk, Virginia is her primary residence, it would give her a better loan deal versus if she admitted and was truthful on her paperwork and said, well, I live in New York, where she wouldn't get as favorable of a deal on her loan because you living outside of the state is considered high risk, right? So we understand that to be true. But in watching this video here of these men going to her two homes, I found it very interesting that the two women who answered the door, the second woman didn't answer. She looked like she stayed on the other side of the door. They were very quick to say, you're trespassing, no one's home, go away, you're trespassing. My point is this looked very coordinated, as if phone calls have been made to say, hey, if some people show up to the house, immediately let them know you're trespassing, and just give them that spiel only. My thing is that they were a little bit too quick to the draw to state that. Normally when people come to your home that you don't know, which doesn't occur often, right? It's very rare, but you might have some people that are soliciting and knocking on the door trying to sell you something, insurance, I don't know. Your natural immediate response isn't just to start yelling out, you're trespassing. Even if somebody's approaching your home with a camera, you're going to at least, wonder, well, what's going on? Why are you here? How can I help you? The fact that they weren't even curious to know why these gentlemen were coming to their homes, and they immediately knew what to do by just screaming out, no trespassing, lets me know that phone calls were made ahead of time, and they were told, hey, some people might be paying you a visit. I'm in a little bit of trouble right now. If people do show up knocking on your door, just say this. Is it just me, or does it seem a little bit too coordinated? Rewind this back and rewatch that one more time, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But now what I want to do is let's get back into the article. So I'm going to jump back into the article right now. Polt also said in 2021, the New York Attorney General falsely stated the number of units in a Brooklyn property she owned, saying it had 4 units, not 5. He added that James purchased another property with her father as the co-signer, but listed them as husband and wife in 1983 and in 2000. So this is a regular practice for her, seemingly, to call her father her husband on paperwork in 1983 and in the year 2000. Polt alleged wire fraud, mail fraud, bank fraud, and false statements to a financial institution. Now, here's where things get interesting concerning punishment if she's found guilty, right? Speaking with Newsweek, Kyle Welch, an associate professor at George Washington University School of Business who specializes in financial fraud, said the allegations about James could carry jail time and disbarment. And that's what I find very interesting, what I want to elaborate more on in a moment. But before I forget, I want to come over here very quickly. We have this gentleman here, hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly, Steve McLaughlin, right? Who is Steve McLaughlin? Steve McLaughlin is an American politician serving as county executive of Rensselaer County, New York. McLaughlin was elected Rensselaer County executive in November of 2017. Well, why am I talking about this guy? Well, here's why. Because he recently wrote and published this on X. Today, following allegations of mortgage fraud against her, I have sent a letter seeking disciplinary proceedings to determine whether Letitia James is fit to hold a law license in the state. I believe she is not, and her license should be revoked. These people are coming for her head. But you got to remember, it's the Democrats that began opening Pandora's box with this type of activity. Remember what Kathy Hochul wanted to do with Eric Adams in New York? Remember how she wanted to remove him from his position as the mayor of New York City, her being the authority over him as governor? That's what she wanted to do. And now the tides are turning on Democrats, where people are finding legal loopholes to possibly either remove you from office or disbar you if you're an attorney, which Letitia James is. So you got to be careful with the foolishness that you engage in, because now it's coming back on you. The irony here is almost too on the nose, Welch said. Letitia James built her nobody is above the law brand by prosecuting Trump for inflating his financial condition. Statements that came with disclaimers involved banks that said they weren't harmed and still resulted in a $500 million fraud conviction. He continued, was Trump's case 100% political prosecution? Yes. Now James is under scrutiny for allegedly misrepresenting her own finances to get a mortgage. No disclaimers, no ambiguity. Is this case 100% political? Yes. Would either case have been brought against a non political civilian? Probably not. And that's the bigger problem for us all. And, I'm not going to disagree with Welch on that. I think he's correct in what he's saying, but we always have to make sure that we've repositioned this conversation properly. It's Democrats that open Pandora's box. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Remember, they tried to bankrupt this man, the man being Trump. They tried to bankrupt him and throw him in jail at what, 70 something years old? So don't cry now. I hear what Welch is saying, and he's not wrong. But at the same time, I'm not really trying to hear all that, if we're being honest. James and her defenders can't seem to see the carbon copy nature of these cases. Let me stop you right there. They do see the carbon copy nature of these cases. When you're talking about DNC lunatics, though, they're hypocrites, right? They can do whatever they want. They can engage in lawfare. They can be as dishonest as possible. But God forbid the tides turn on them and they get a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. They're going to cry victim and pretend like something horrible is happening to them that they didn't do to somebody else. But I digress. And unfortunately, New York Democrats and the DNC helped normalize this tit for tat legal targeting under the banner of accountability. And I agree with that. It's the Democrats that helped normalize this type of behavior. Well, the shoe is on the other foot now, and Trump's team is playing the exact same game. Here's where it gets surreal. Both cases involve felony level allegations. Both could carry jail time. A conviction would likely mean disbarment for James. And that's huge, because even if she doesn't go to jail, if found guilty, and as if the charges even get brought down on her, but even if she doesn't get jail time, she will most likely be disbarred. So what is she going to do for a living now? Understand, Letitia James doesn't have the political cachet and resources and reach, let alone the finances, to survive this the way Trump was able to. She doesn't have that. So even jail time aside, she gets disbarred. How are you going to earn a living now? What are you going to do? I don't know what this woman's going to do to make money, but at the same time, it's not our problem, right? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Engage in lawfare. And when the guy that you engage in lawfare against, who you tried to bankrupt and throw in jail, becomes president, well, I guess now it is what it is. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And also don't forget to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. Until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.